The X-Men were never meant to be comfortable. They weren't created to be admired. They weren't designed to be understood. They exist because society needed something to fear. And in this story, that fear finally speaks its name. This isn't about mutants, it's about us. On the surface, the X-Men are easy to misunderstand. They have powers, they wear uniforms, and they fight villains. But X-Men, God loves, man kills strips all of that away. No cosmic stakes, no flashy battles. Instead, it asks a single, unsettling question. Why are mutants hated? Not feared because of what they've done, but feared because of what they are. This story introduces a villain who doesn't see himself as evil. He believes he is righteous. He believes he is chosen. And he believes mutants are a sin that must be erased. What makes this story uncomfortable isn't the violence, it's the familiarity. The language used against mutants mirrors real-world rhetoric. Fear framed as morality, hatred justified as faith, dehumanization disguised as protection. The X-Men aren't fighting a monster. They're fighting an ideology. Here's the truth this story makes impossible to ignore. The X-Men were never about being different. They were about being feared. Feared by governments, feared by institutions, feared by ordinary people convinced that violence is justified if it feels righteous. Mutants don't threaten the world, they threaten comfort. Unlike many superhero stories, this one offers no easy villain. The danger doesn't come from a machine or an alien invasion. It comes from belief. And that's why this story works. Because prejudice doesn't need superpowers. It only needs permission. The X-Men exist not to prove they're good, but to survive in a world that has already decided they aren't. This story sharpens the philosophical divide at the heart of the X-Men. Xavier believes coexistence is possible, that fear can be unlearned. Magneto believes fear is inevitable, and that survival requires strength. Neither position is dismissed. And that's the point. The X-Men don't exist because the world is fair. They exist because it isn't. Decades later, this story hasn't aged. It's sharpened, because the fear it depicts never disappeared. It only changed language. This is why God Loves, Man Kills remains one of the most important X-Men stories ever written. Not because of who it condemns, but because of who it reflects. The X-Men were never meant to be symbols of power. They were meant to be mirrors. And sometimes what we see reflected back isn't flattering. In the last episode, we explored the cost of being a hero. Here we confront the cost of being different in a world that fears difference. Because the most dangerous enemy the X-Men ever faced was never a villain, it was belief.